This is Rita Dairit and this is Buhay Parang Life, where we discuss issues about this thing called life. Thank you, my dear viewers, for tuning into this episode. I invite you to please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. Buhay Parang Life is part of FaithWatch TV, and I ask you to download the FaithWatch app on your mobile device. We read and value your comments, so please feel free to write down your comments and suggestions below. Today's issue, motivational intelligence. And to share with us her knowledge, we are happy to have here again on Buhay Parang Life, the ever-radiant, gospel-rooted motivational speaker and certified image consultant, Ms. Toni Miranda.
Hello, Rita, and hello to our listeners. I'm happy to be back.
Tony, ngayon ko lang narinig ang motivational intelligence. We have emotional intelligence. Yun lang yata ang alam ko.
Oo nga, no, ang daming intelligence. Or Q, no, yung quotient na merong IQ, may LQ, may barbecue. Pero MQ, yeah.
Quotient, dash motivational intelligence. Sino yung ibang tao hindi motivated, ano?
Right. Sino nga bang hindi motivated?
Actually, yung mga hindi na kumikilos, hindi ba?
Right. And ako rin mismo, before when I encountered this, I wasn't really interested about it until me myself, no, personally, I have to go through a life transformation that compels me to search for the root cause. Kasi before I used to only address yung whatever is, for example, conflict, no, yung bakit kami nagka-conflict, but the root cause why we even reach the conflict, I never get to understand or even discover before. And the beauty about MQ, no, yung kasi when you say intelligence, meron naman tayo, no, we just need to understand and know how, no. So we have emotional intelligence, how to process emotion. But prior to that, meron mo nang mauuna pala. And this is what we call motivation. Sabi mo nga, may ibang hindi na motivated. Or probably, may reason din but hindi na siya motivated. So we have desires. I want to use the word desires. We can start with that. The MQ, while we use the word motivation, it is coming from a root cause or sabihin natin element. We call it the desire. Lahat tayo naturally we have 16 desires. So I can mention some, but it's just 16. Marami tayo. It's scientific. Marami na siyang. It's coming from a survey from more than 700,000 people, no, and scientifically derived siya. Marami mga self-assessment, personality self-assessment na test where that's why do we get that? Because we wanted to be aware about who we are, our communication skills. But very few are aware na meron palang self-assessment din sa motivation. So let's go first, why nagkaroon? Bago nagkaroon ng self-assessment, may reason ba't nila ginawa niyo. Lahat pala tayo, Rita, meron tayong 16 desires. And I'll give some of the examples of desires, like desire for family, desire for eating, desire for beauty, desire for honor, desire for power. So let's talk about those. Maybe I want to add also desire for tranquility, yung peace. No? Right. So lahat tayo meron yan. The only shocking truth is na na-discover ko is magkakaiba lang yung level. So if we will use the level of 1 to 5, kasi what we do kasi is from negative 1.5 to 2. So para lang hindi technical, gawin natin 1 to 5, no? 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. So some of us naturally, hindi siya dinevelop, naturally lang, have, let's say, 5, family muna pag-usapan natin. Let's say have a desire to be part or to nurture a family or to just mahilig siya, pa-prioritize niya ang pamilya over career, over anything else when it comes to schedule. So some of us have 5. Mataas yung desire niya doon. So on a weekend, maybe pwede siyang ma-judge ng ibang outgoing na mababa naman ang value sa family. So now, what happens to this when we are not aware? This is what we just experienced. We are stressed over comments. Or we are stressed over our friends who doesn't have the same value with us. Or we doesn't have the same level of desire with us. Kasi meron din psychological a term, we call it self-hugging na whatever is your desire, you expect another one to have the same. And then
Oo,
we expect, di
yes.
ba?
Dapat pare-pareho tayo ng gusto.
Oo. So let's say yun lang, family, sabi mo, KJ mo naman, weekend nga lang, once a week, priority mo pa rin pamilya mo. Versus yung isa na nakakaintindi, it's okay, weekday na lang tayo mag-schedule ng ating reunion. Yung gano'n, no?
Klarong-klaro eh, no? Walang
Ah,
defensive. Hindi siya nagiging defensive. Kasi klaro yung
and
value niya.
yeah, so out of that expectation, we gain conflict or we get stressed. Nasi-stress tayo. So now, yung stress makikreate ng emotion. How do we now manage emotion nang hindi na-address? Bakit ka nasi-stress? So there,
Oo.
when your desire is not happening, we get stressed, and there's a danger na ng magbigay pa ako na isang stage saan napupunta yung stress. So when our desire for family is not achieved, maybe everyone is busy, yung ganun ba, yung desire mo doon, we get stressed. So since hindi natin alam ba tayo na stress, we cope. So anong cope natin? Shopping, binge watching, whatever that is,
Oo.
temporarily na fill in ka, pero magre-record lang siya. Sayang, hindi natin naintindihan. So we don't get the most out of ourselves, and yet the stress is somehow wearing us down. And out of that, we don't get to be effective on things that we can be effective naturally too, out of our talent, out of the opportunities that we have, because we are just not having that clarity. What makes me stressed?
So, okay, Tony, para lang mas ma-concretize, was there ever a time that you were not clear with your values or with the things that makes you happy?
Yes. Okay, let's talk about being materialistic. Kasi marami rin akong pinagdaanan and it has different season. And one of which is that, no, I just wanted branded things. I wanted, let's say sa parent-teacher meeting, pag nakita ko na ako lang yung hindi branded, I got stressed, no? And sa bahay na hindi maganda or sa hotel, hindi ako makapag-hotel na maganda, I get stressed. And out of that, I do something about it. So nabago na. Instead na ang purpose ko is to empower people, yung mga things that I know is my real purpose. Nagiging purpose ko for, my drive to work hard is just to buy that. Then when I get it, I get surprised. Why am I not satisfied again? Okay. So this is what I discovered. So before, confused lang ako because there's no clarity, there's no intelligence, walang motivation intelligence. So now when I got my assessment, do you know, Lita, meron din palang desire for beauty. Okay? So beauty is not just the physical. Beauty is the surroundings, the things that you have.
Mm-hmm,
My
mm-hmm. Yung
desire is so high.
gusto mo
Yeah,
maganda.
magandang living room, magandang bag, magandang office. So we satisfy. So sometimes baka may makarelate tayo mga listener na, bakit minsan maski nasa lobby lang ng hotel, hindi nga nakapag-check-in, masaya na siya. Right? Yung na-appreciate lang niya yung
Ba't medyo ganyan
aesthetics.
ako? Gusto ko maayos yung lamesa, maganda yung
Yes. Pero pag magulo, let's say wala tayong makontrol na pero magulo, you get stressed.
ay,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, so it's not just the luxury thing. So now, when I saw that, when I had assessment now, wow, I have a very high desire for beauty, which also actually is a confirmation of what I do as a profession. But to understand further why I would rather spend on that versus, let's say, on a gym, okay, or exercise,
Ayun, oo.
gives me clarity now what to manage. Which means I can be vulnerable in impulsive buying of a certain beautiful thing. But since I know that it's not always good, I can now predict my behavior and how I would feel if it will not happen. Versus, wala lang, di ba? Versus, hindi ko lang alam ba't nalungkot ako.
Kasi ito ang mahalaga sa akin. Ito ang gusto ko eh. Ito ang nagpapa-happy sa akin.
But syempre, we also need to see yung parang yung tinatawagan nating guidance, diba? Yung spiritual guidance, pray about it or whatever. Is it still feasible in your with the current season, whether financial season or season ng age or health season? So because you know what your desire is, you can now predict your feeling when it's not happening. Then because you can predict your feeling, kasi ano yan, cognitive and then, di ba, emotion, when you can now predict that I might feel this way, you can also predict to manage, let's say, baka ipilit ko, okay? Or baka pilitin kong bilhin, maski credit card ko siya. And now that you can predict that, and you want to manage that, you will bring in a friend. Friend, sama mo ako, bakit? So you can, okay, control me because this is my weakness and I just need to enjoy looking at new season na release ng bag. But I am telling you, I should manage my expenses. So can you be with me at least to control me? So nagkaroon ka na proactive planning to manage that.
Oo, hindi yung parang react ka lang ng react sa mga bagay, especially things that you value, sige ka lang ng sige.
And hindi rin siya recurring dahil hindi mo nga naintindihan yung root cause.
Alright, alright. You talk about root cause. Saan pwede manggaling itong mga desires na to?
Okay. So there was a science and a study that has proven that all of us, we already have intrinsic or natural desires. And all of us we have consistent na 16. 16 yan, medyo marami siya. And yung iba nabanggit ko na kanina like family, curiosity, meron pang ang honor, power. Nag-iiba-iba lang ang level. So how do we see and find it out? May mga free version and paid version assessment for that. What's important is you have the desire to learn more about yourself. This one actually enters dun sa topic na self-awareness. When you want self-awareness, you need clarity. And when you need clarity, you try to have some sources of that clarity. So first, you can have your self-assessment, iba naman feedback, and some online, mga available.
Ano pala, you self-assess.
Mm-mm. Kasi
Alright.
some we can focus on the simple ones like now we've heard about beauty. So malalaman na natin, oh, ako yan, di ba? I was that type. Or what else? Meron pang ang desire na acceptance. So acceptance now has something to do with our confidence. Why? If you have high value or mataas ang desire mo sa acceptance, you needed validation. So paano kung na-reject ka, let's say nag-pitch ka ng business, hindi in-approve, now that you are aware that you have high and your emotions might be affected and it might make you not do it again, not to try it again, you need someone to encourage you, understanding. So napaplano mo na okay, this is just the first time, you can do it again. Everyone always has their no and yes. So try it again versus mag-isa mo lang siyang i-process kasi malulungkot ka talaga dahil mataas yung value sa acceptance hindi ka na-accept. Versus those who have a low value sa acceptance, which is, again, personally, yun ang lumabas sa akin. So I can weather different kinds of rejection or sabihin natin, I'm not saying naman na mayabang, but it's more of mas wala siyang impact sa akin emotionally when I get rejected.
Okay, so Toni, you teach people on leadership skills.
Yes.
Why is it important for leaders or upcoming leaders, or so that you can be a leader? Why is it important to have a high motivational quotient?
Okay. As a leader, kasi by the word itself, we lead others. And we have to impact, no? We either lead them positively or negatively. So having, when we lack clarity, when we lack the understanding of what motivates us, we might use our leadership skills or style may now be in the angle of coping skill na parang gagamitin ko siya para makabawi ako or sa'yo ko nalang ibuhos yung galit ko, yung ganun, no? But when we have clarity on who we are, we can lead first ourselves as a leader. No, we need to have self-mastery, and that means we are able to have self-leadership. And people around us observe us, so they see that. They see calmness. They see that you have a vision. They see how you address humility, how you demonstrate humility when you commit mistake, and how you are able to get from that or get away from that. Not really away, get over that the right way. And that's leading. And then we are able to now somehow, no, manage them on the basis of clarity too. You begin to be interesting. Bakit ganun siya mag-react? Bakit siya late? You begin to be empathetic kasi you begin to ask questions that are coming from wanting to understand, diba? Kasi clarity, leading needs to somehow understand who you are leading. Kaya nga mauna muna dapat self before you can lead others. So it affects them in a way that your sense of clarity of the self leads you to also understand others. You don't assume anymore. You don't get to judge. You don't get to, parang ang daming mong inassume, pero versus I understand meron din pinagdadaanan niyan. Yung clarity basis, may identity na baka hindi siya
Madali
sure.
mo, yeah, mas madali mong maintindihan yung iba. So
And
yung mga leaders na
mm,
masyadong uptight pag hindi nangyari yung gusto nila,
yeah,
medyo, can you say medyo needs to polish or to have more clarity or to increase
yeah.
emotional quotient?
Tama siya kasi yung MQ helps you already predict how you will behave when things planned will not happen. Somehow, 'di ba kasi alam mo na okay pag hindi nangyari maapektuhan yung honor ko or yung power ko. So what do I do? You can now plan out versus sabi mo nga kanya I love your word versus being just reactive, right? So now you can plan out. You can even train your people and lead them how to plan out too. Like for example, simple things like this. Okay, in my leadership, I value feedback. Yung ganun, no? So the feedback that we value is not gossip because definitely it's unhealthy feedback. We wanted to immediately tell each other ano yung mga lapses natin because we are coming from the heart of health. We wanted everyone here to be lifted na hindi ako yung pinakamagaling pero lahat tayo. Why? Because we are giving each other a feedback and encouragement. So there, pag naririnig yun ng tao, nung ano natin, ng people who we are leading, they actually not just learn, they get encouraged that I'm in the right group. And then this leader is open when I make mistake because I know he or she will give me feedback. And he and she is also willing to get feedback. Maraming takot ng feedback sa boss, Rita, di ba? But when they understand na, kasi in-announce mo yon yung style mo on that angle of clarity, openness, then leading others is more meaningful this time. Hindi siya parang checklist na 1 point, naku, may minus point ko. Yung ganun ba, natatakot yung tao. And tayo rin, parang natatakot tayo na i-reject tayo ng tao.
Right. Tony, did you give this ano ba matatawag ko dito, training, seminar to groups? And do you do one-on-one coaching? Maybe, a leader here is listening and wants to, teka, I think I need to increase my motivational quotient. How can they reach you?
Yeah. So I provide this, we call it the leading with MQ or leading with motivational intelligence. So we do that as one of our leadership development training. Yes, they can reach me at www.toni.ph, or they can also visit my social media. I have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Toni Miranda PH.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tony. And thank you, my dear viewers, for watching this. This is Rita David reminding you today, haba-habaan po ang pasensya sapagkat ang buhay parang life.